Can you talk
Yeah,
about the compliance part? Because I know that's a big one in government. And so I know that that was one of the important details that you put into this software.
absolutely. When I was working on the government side, one of the things that you do at the very beginning is as you're reading through people's proposals and you're reading through these drafts, you're checking for compliance, because if the proposal is non-compliant, you can't make an award to that contractor. The government sets aside $168 billion per year for small businesses alone. And every year they only award about 2/3 of it. The reason is they get back the proposals, they're non-compliant. And so I just saw that as a huge opportunity for these small businesses to up their game a little bit. How do we help make businesses more compliant in their proposals? And what we do is, as we're building the proposal, we use the AI to break down and pull out all the shall statement, wills, musts in the government solicitation, and then map those automatically to the part of the proposal where they fit best.
What are some of the pros and cons of those who are doing it the hard way?
Doing it the old-fashioned way, the benefit is you maintain that control and you have an understanding deeply throughout the entire process. The challenge is it takes them about a week or a week and a couple days to get to a rough draft. Doing it with AI also has its pros and cons. You can get that rough draft much, much faster, and that leaves you the more time to do
More.
do more to make it better, to polish it up even further. But by the same token, AI isn't going to do it all for you. So you're still going to need to invest your time. You also need to invest time up front to get the AI working.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Dr. Karwanna D, your government contract strategist here. And most of y'all know that I've been in business for over 2 decades. There's been a lot of changes, a lot of emerging technologies, a lot of pivoting, of course, for several people. And today, for those who are in the business of growing and scaling, we already know that the best way to grow and scale is in the government contracting space, right? Because the government has the money. They never really run out of money. They're always looking for small businesses to work with. And I'm really excited about today's conversation that I'm having with CEO and founder of GovPro AI, because if you haven't figured out the thing just yet, AI is the new thing, right? If you really think about it, over the past few decades, really, there's been an emergence of like Wi-Fi and internet and an emergence of all of these different technologies. And a lot of people get left behind if they're not able to easily adapt and really pivot and integrate those things into business. A lot of new millionaires and multimillionaires are also born during these changes around technology if they're able to adapt early, right? So today we have CEO and founder Alex Cohen of GovPro AI, who is the founder and developer of an AI for government contractors, which is pretty interesting, right? And it's very innovative. So, Alan, we're excited to have you here, and let's just talk about a little bit about who you are and where you come from, and basically how you came up with this GovPro AI.
Absolutely. In a nutshell, I've worked on both sides of the coin in this industry. So I worked for the government as a contractor doing acquisition support. So I was on the acquisitions team in Department of Interior. I worked for the Bureau of Indian Affairs, helping them make contract awards. And so I saw the process of how the government writes these contracts, puts out solicitations, puts out RFIs. And I learned that coin for the first time from the inside. And then when I left, I started writing proposals. And so I have the same coin, just opposite side. I was writing proposals, we were winning awards. And then I started working on some AI things. I was working at Google, and I saw the opportunity to really help small businesses with AI in the government contracting realm, because it's a space that I've been working in for over a decade. And I thought, what an amazing opportunity to help these small businesses. And so we left to create GovPro AI as an entity to do that.
So what do you say about, like, AI is well, actually, it's not new. I would say AI is not necessarily new because it's been around. It's just people have been innovative in the way that they adapt AI, and now it's more accessible to the everyday average person,
Yes.
entrepreneurs, and all that stuff. Because if you think about voicemails, that's like AI, like the older version of AI, that type of stuff, and callback dialers, like those, that's AI, right? And so it's not that it's new, but we're positioning it as if it's a new thing. And now that we have the ability to use this to grow, expand, make money, all these different things, I think is very interesting. So, what do you think about those who are like fearful of using this technology, especially in business?
I think that there's good reasons to be fearful. I also think that the opportunities are huge. And so you have to kind of weigh the benefits and try and mitigate the risks. And what I mean by that is if you're in the government contracting space, I know this because it's true for me. The words that I've written are worth millions of dollars, provenly. They won millions of dollars from the government. So it's crazy, but the words you put, the order that you put them in is extremely valuable. And that's your intellectual property.
Right.
So the opportunity is, can you get an AI to learn to write the way that you write so that it can, if you've been around in this space for a while and you've written some proposals before, it's never a joyous, it's always a slog.
Right.
And a lot of times you're just rewriting stuff that you've written a similar version sometime in the past, but you just can't put your finger on, oh, was it this one that 2 years ago? Or was it this one last year? And you end up looking and you spend an hour looking for something that you could have just written in an hour. And so the opportunity is, if you can train an AI assistant type of thing to write the way that you write, or to be able to know all those things that you wrote and just pull the right one at the right time, the right place,
Mhm.
then you can save yourself a lot of time that you end up going through these motions. So the risk there is that using some of these larger companies, you're exposing your proprietary information
Mhm.
to the open internet, to transferring it over all sorts of channels and everything like that. And you don't maintain control over it. And so what we do for our customers is we build them a custom offline secure AI model that they can use for their proprietary proposal information, that it can break down a solicitation, it can find section C, L, and M, it can look in the performance work statement, and then it can match those things up to where they've written about something in the past and help them get that first draft out really quickly and easily.
Now, does this work for both brand new businesses that's probably never won any proposals before, or does it only work with those who have experience of winning and you kind of feed it the past information?
So it works for both. When you have a company that has a lot more information, it's going to naturally give the specificity that you need to win a government proposal, because you have that you've written that in the past. We do offer some consulting services on top for newer businesses to help them get to that level of specificity. We do use AI for this as well. A lot of times a business will have some subject matter experts that they know what the answer is. They know how to talk about it right. But the AI just generically is going to, if you don't have those past winning proposals that you've written to, it's going to give you a response that's just a little bit too high level, where you need to dive deep into the details to
Yeah.
convince the government that you
Mhm.
have the credibility and they can trust you to do this work right. So we work with both types of businesses, but you just need a little bit more help to get those first 3 or 4 or 5 under your belt, where the AI can run all on its own.
So some pros and cons of doing it the old-fashioned traditional way, which could be hours, tons of hours of your time to
Mhm.
respond to one
Yeah.
solicitation or RFP versus using a new technology like GovPro AI. What are some of the pros and cons of those who are doing it the hard way?
We talk to our customers, and I'll just tell you what they tell us, which is doing it the hard way, doing it the old-fashioned way. The benefit is you maintain that control and you have an understanding deeply throughout the entire process. The challenge is, most of our customers say that it takes them about a week or a week and a couple days to get to a rough draft. So if you only have 30 days to do the full proposal to get it into the
Yeah.
government out the door, if you're spending a quarter of your time just getting to that first rough draft, that
Mhm.
doesn't leave you as much time to be doing the like tweaking and perfection type of things.
Mhm.
So those are the pros and cons to doing it the old fashioned way. Doing it with AI also has its pros and cons. So you can get that rough draft much, much faster.
Mhm.
And that leaves you the more time to do,
More.
Yeah,
More,
do more to make
more.
it better, to polish it up even further. But by the same token, you still need to invest. AI isn't going to do it all for you. If anyone says, "Hey, we're AI, it's going to make it perfect and ready to go when it's done
Yeah.
with it," that's just not realistic for where we are in the
Mhm.
technology right now. So you're still going to need to invest your time.
Mhm.
You also need to invest time upfront to get the AI working. Like
Yeah.
our AI, it doesn't run the same out of the box for every customer. It needs
Right.
to be customized and tweaked for each customer so that it's responding in their voice with their unique company details.
So question, is this tool some like only specifically for AI, like for government contractors tailored specifically to their business, or could government contractors also consult with other government contractor using that technology? Is it more of an open source, or are there options to be able to also use it as a consultant?
It's really tailored for proposals on the federal side. I mean, we do work with a lot of companies that use it for subbing.
Mhm.
So, like, if you've ever been in the situation as a sub where you work with a prime, but they always are asking for stuff like super last minute. Oh, hey, can you get me that back this in 2 days? And you're like, what? I need to write 20 pages in 2 days. It's really, really good at that. So it can really help you as a sub. People use it for task orders too a lot because the task order turnarounds can be really short, 2, 3, 4 days, sometimes even 24 hours. And so using an AI solution like ours that is already trained on the governmentese, proposalees, whatever you want to call it, it can be super beneficial. But we've tested it for some other use cases, and there are some that are interesting, but it's generic consulting is not really one of them.
Okay, so good question about compliance. Can you talk
Yeah,
about the compliance part? Because I know that's a big one in government, and all responses are not necessarily just because they're good doesn't mean they're compliant, right? And so I know that that was one of the important details that you put into this software. Can you just talk about a little bit about how it helps you to become compliant?
absolutely. When I was working on the government side, one of the things that you do at the very beginning is as you're reading through people's proposals and you're reading through these drafts, you're checking for compliance. Because if the proposal is non compliant, you can't make an award to that contractor. And so, what we wanted to do was help contractors make highly compliant bids. The government sets aside $168 billion per year for small businesses alone. That's untouchable. That's just for small businesses.
Mhm.
And they actually, every year, they only award about two-thirds of it. They award somewhere between 98 and $106 billion of that 160 billion. And the reason is a lot of times that they put out the award for a small business, they get back the proposals, they're non-compliant. They can't make any awards, so they go to big. They just pick a large. And so I just saw that as a huge opportunity for these small businesses to up their game a little bit. And
Yeah,
so that left me scratching my head. How do we help make businesses more compliant in their proposals?
yeah.
And so the government has this flat compliance level. Everyone needs to be compliant to get that bid.
Mhm.
But if it's a 25-foot fence, that means that the big, huge behemoth companies need to jump over a little 25-foot fence, or the tiny little guys that are like normal sized people also need to somehow make a 25-foot jump. And what we do is, as we're building the proposal, we use the AI to break down and pull out all the shall statements, all the shalls, wills, musts
Yeah.
in the government solicitation, and then map those automatically to the part of the proposal where they fit best and address them systematically one by one and make sure that each one has a trail that you can map so that when you are reading the proposal, you have an output of, okay, the government says we shall do this, we must do that. And we address that here, we address this one there, we address this one here.
Yeah.
And so helping companies meet that compliance challenge, I think is an enormous part in helping them improve their win rate because everyone who's done this and had the frustration of, oh, well, I got knocked out because one little thing on page X, I didn't put this, or I forgot to do that. It's
Yeah.
just really frustrating.
Very small mistakes. I remember even myself not winning a contract because I forgot to answer a question, like one question. And so,
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
so those types of things. Okay, so when you say 160 billion, are you talking federal? Is this
Federal.
for federal contracting? Will it open up for state and local? Because I know it's a lot, right? It's a lot of opportunities that are on the table across local, state, and federal. But is this
Mhm.
something that you're looking to add additional options in the future?
Yeah, that is actually one of the areas, very intuitive, Karwanna, that we have, that it is a good fit for. So we are talking with a number of companies. I think about between 20 and 30% of our customers do some state and local, and we've been helping them with their federal. And so we are starting to help them with state and local as well. We do have to make some adjustments. We want our technology to automatically pull in the correct structure for the output, to understand the requirements, where they're located. And state and local is not as consistent as federal. Every state does it in their own little way. So we're still doing some final testing, but that's something that we are definitely looking a lot into, and it should come soon.
So if there is a number, what is the average number of wins or the average contractual win size that this AI using your technology has helped either a client or yourself win?
Because we do a lot of task orders and we also do a lot of larger IDIQs and BPAs, it's hard to say the average size, because like a BPA winning it's like winning a hunting license, that you're just getting the opportunity to bid on more things.
Right.
But I can tell you that we have helped win contracts over $22 million. And we have also helped win kind of single one body contract, one person additions to a contract, a little task order just for one additional person. That's like $170,000, $180,000. So it runs the gamut. I think that the average would probably be somewhere in the couple million range, like 1 to 2 million is where we are right now.
I mean, for a small business, that's sweet, right?
Exactly.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, I mean, I'd love to see the technology. If you want to do a demo, that would
Sure.
be great. Yeah. So we can just see it in action.
So there's two tools that I'm going to share with you quickly. The first one is the GovPro AI platform. And you can see here on the left side, these are the solicitations that this client would be managing. This is an Acme Corp. And so you can see there's an IDIQ, there's an RFQ, this is an IDIQ, this is just an RFI. And so if you click into any of these, the first thing that you'll see is we pull out a bunch of key information. This is a period of performance of 6 months. It requires secret clearance. It's a firm fixed price contract. And then we pull out section C, L, and M, the performance work statement, the instructions to offerers, and the evaluation criteria. Each one is highlighted in a different color, so red, green, and blue. And we do this for each of those contracts very quickly. So you'll be able to see that. And then what we do is we extract out of that a compliance list. So these are all the shalls, wills, and musts. And when they get addressed in the proposal, it maps which section it's been addressed in. So this gets turned into an outline, and the outline has, just like normal, sections and subsections. You can see here, this is a technical approach. So you have the understanding the requirements and the approach to this activity and that activity. And within each one, what we are doing is we're pulling out what are the items that we need to address in this section. And then if we've ever addressed similar items in similar sections in the past, in our past proposals, what did we write about those? And what this lets the AI do is pull in the most relevant, best language that you have. And so it can write something similar to that. And so once you get that done, if you can download the outline and look at it, or you can actually just go straight onto the proposal, and you can see here that this is going to be a 25 or 30 page proposal that addresses each of those sections and has a write-up for the past performance. This is the, so everything's going to be addressed that you need, and you can just download that full proposal as a Microsoft Word document from here. Or if you want, you can go back and you can choose any section and you can refine it. So regenerate, refine based on which criteria you want to address. So that's the basic tool. It can help you get an output in a matter of hours. That's 30, 50, 60 pages, something like that. So before I move on to the other tool, do you have any questions about
this? Yeah. So I wanted to know, like, if there's ever, because sometimes they have page limitations. So is it this smart where it'll read the limitations and it'll put an output based on that as well?
Yeah. So you can see here, you can tell it should intuitively pick up most of it. But if you need to, you can say, I want this section to be 2 pages and 9 paragraphs is too long. So let's just make it four big paragraphs, or let's make it 8 paragraphs over 2 pages. And for the past performance, I have 5 pages, so we can make this go a little longer. So you can set inside the tool how long you want for each section, but it should read through and pull that from section C or L or M, depending on where it is. Usually it's in section L. Sometimes they move it in section M.
That's really good. Okay. And then I take it from here, then you'll pretty much have like a base proposal that you have to just kind of go in and add additional and just kind of make it your own, or
Yeah. So what our customers tell us is this usually gets them what they feel like is into the midfield, like 50,
yeah,
60% of the way there. And from there, they need to, I'll stop sharing so that I can see your
sure.
face. They're going to need to find the right personnel. So the AI is not going to know which people on their team they want to, who you need to hire someone. Do they need to have key personnel? So that type of process. If they're going to partner with someone on one of the sections,
Yeah.
AI is not going to know what the partner is going to do.
Yeah.
So, and similarly, like I would never trust an AI to do my pricing.
Yeah.
So they're going to need to work on the pricing volume. They're going to need to sharpen their pencil, figure out and do that kind of competitive analysis of who else is bidding on this,
Yeah.
how much are they going to charge, how do I come in with an advantage and an edge. That takes a lot of time. So
Yeah.
having the technical volume, having the management approach, having that mostly written, those volumes are going to be like 70, 75% done. You just need to, tweak it, make it your own, make sure that everything is correct, make sure that it represents what your approach is for this, but really leave you the time to do those other elements.
Yeah, that makes sense. So it sounds like using a technology like this will do pretty much about 70-75% of the heavy lifting on the technical aspect. And then as the
Correct.
professional, the person, the expert, who understands who you need to have on your team, the qualifications they need to have, and what your pricing is and what your market, whatever that is, right?
Yes.
You just need to go the rest of the mile. So yeah, I can definitely see how this could be a great benefit in addition as an assistant that really, as an assistant, that you don't have to pay over like on a payroll, right?
Yeah.
Like you make an
Use it when you
investment,
need it.
you make an investment and you use it as you need it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is one of two models.
Yeah. So we have another tool that we've built for some smaller businesses, actually. And let me share that as well. This one's a bit simpler. It's a lot less buttons, but what we
Yeah.
have with a lot of our customers is they want to just ask a simple question. Have we written about cyber security requirements before? Let's say like 0 day. Because maybe you're doing an RFI. You
Yeah.
don't want to go through the whole process and click through and have something. You just want like a very quick answer. But you're not also just looking for an AI write up, which is what this part is. You're
Huh.
also looking for, all right, show me the money. Like, where did I write about this? And so
Okay.
here we have, this is the actual quote from one of your past proposals,
Uh-huh.
so that you can just
Pull it.
find, I jokingly call this the golden retriever.
Yeah.
And the reason is everyone has that scenario where it's, man, I've written about this before, but where is it?
I can't remember.
And yep, exactly. And I call it the golden retriever because I had a boss. And when I told him was going to be leaving to take a different job and I couldn't really write proposals for them anymore, he said, dang it, I'm going to have to train a new golden retriever. And I was like, what? And he was like, you already know where all the bones are buried in the backyard. I
Yeah.
don't want to have to train another golden retriever to go find them. And
Yeah.
so we built this tool actually, and we tested it with that customer first and jokingly call it the golden
Good.
retriever.
That's awesome. All right, cool. All right. So is there anything that I missed that you want to share about this tool, your services, your company?
I think that that's it.
Okay, so let's get into, I guess we're gonna leave some information about where they can go grab the tool, where they can subscribe, whether annually, monthly, I don't know how it's built out, but we'll definitely leave some information in the show notes. Is there a trial run? Is there a trial period, or you just dive right in?
So we will do a money back guarantee for all of our customers. I believe in what we do. I've lived this industry and I live the pain that these customers have. I don't want a scenario where people feel like they're paying for something they're not getting the value of. It is pretty intensive to get set up. We have to do a fair amount of training of AI models to get them something that works. And we do test it for our customers before we hand it over to them. So we can't do a free trial, but
Yeah.
we can do a money back guarantee.
So what is the usual runway? Like how long does it take if a person signs up to have this AI customized for their business? And then how long does it usually take, or just does it depend on how long and how much information you have to feed it?
It depends a little bit on how much information they have and how complex it is, how many different business lines. But it takes about a week, can be a little bit less depending on number of factors for us to do the initial training. And then from there, we can return a rough draft in 1 to 2 days. So if something drops on Monday, you can have a draft sitting on your desk by Wednesday morning.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Alex. It's been great speaking with you about the new GovPro AI tool. I think it's definitely very innovative, and it's very obvious that you put a lot of thought and care into it, especially with compliance, because a lot of people don't even think about compliance at all. It's just like, let me just get to the money. And so I definitely appreciate you coming on and sharing this information with the world. I know that it's going to be of great value to, to my audience, as well as my clients and people that I have worked with to get involved in the government contracting business. And so if you're watching this video and you definitely are looking to like work in a more streamlined fashion, get bids out faster, scale in the federal marketplace, definitely check out this tool. We're going to leave the link right below in the description where you can check it out, as well as some information of how you can follow and contact Alex himself, and probably even book a consultant call to find out what other services and offers that he has available. So thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Any last words before we go?
Thank you so much for having me on. I would love to help your audience and your network with their business challenges. And I think this is a great opportunity.
Awesome. Thank you.